the more I look at this and the more I look at the numbers, I think there's really three things that for Tennessee they're going to decide how they win this game. The first one being Creighton's top 4 players score 82% of their points. Their bench gives them almost nothing. Like, they have no depth at all.
Okay, to your point, Seth Greenberg said the exact same thing. He said something very similar to what you just said on College Game Day a week and a half ago. They were talking about teams. It was in the conference tournament weekend, and they were talking about teams that could make a run. And people were like, "Man, Creighton, they're such a good team." And he goes, "I agree with you 1 through 4, but after that, and he did like that, and that's exactly to your point, exactly what you're saying."
So if we can get a lot of movement going on offense, get a lot of attacking to the basket, and get a couple of those guys in foul trouble and get into their bench, they can't stay with us. Like those guys on the bench do not score. So I think that's number one.
And they didn't last night.
No, they haven't all year.
All of their points in overtime came from 3 dudes.
Yeah,
overtime and double overtime.
They haven't all year. Look at their roster. Like it is a drastic discrepancy. You've got the first 4 scorers, and they're all 12 to 18 points a game. And then number 5 is like 5 points a game. And then every guy on the bench is 1 or 2 points. I mean, there's nothing coming from the rest of those guys. So, you got to get into their bench, get a couple of their main guys in foul trouble. And that comes with movement and attacking the basket. The second thing is we need about 10 second chance points. We need to be, if they're the second or third worst team in the country allowing offensive rebounds, we need to be crashing the boards and getting lots of second chance points. We don't need to worry about how many threes we hit or how Santi does or any of this stuff. At this point in the season, it's all about, can you put the ball in the basket? That's all that matters. And if that's second chance points off putbacks and tip ins and layups, awesome. Take every one of them. And then the third thing is, and this is probably the hardest one, they run that Princeton style offense where the center is in the high post or the free throw line, sometimes all the way out to the 3-point line. We're going to be up in these guys' shirts trying to keep them from shooting threes, and we can't really help off. So guys are going to have to be really good at bodying up cutters and not allowing people to just backdoor to the basket and face cut them to the basket. Like hopefully the refs let it be physical, because if they don't let it be physical, Creighton's going to backdoor cut and high ball screen cut us to death, and that's going to open up shooters. And so we've got to be really, really physical and not allow them to just cut whenever they feel like it.
And that's why Josiah is so important in this game, because exactly like you just said, they're smart. They're going to try to draw Jonas away from the basket, open up rebounding for other guys. That's why Josiah is the X factor here. He is the rebounder. And if they go the too big situation, Tobey becomes that rebounder that we're going to have in the game if they're pulling Jonas away from the goal.
I think the only problem with that too big is Creighton really only has one 5-man grouping where there would be somebody Tobey could guard.
Yeah, I understand.
Like most of the time, the guys they have out there, I don't see a second guy that, like, Jonas is going to have the 7-footer. I don't see who the other one is that Tobey could guard. And that concerns me a little bit.
And you do have to honor the when they pull that 7-footer up to the top of the key, Jonas has to go out there.
Yeah.
You have to honor the dude because he can shoot it. So that's why Josiah, whoever the number 4 in the game at the time is, I doubt we'll see a lineup where Dalton's the 4. But you have to guard that 4-man. He's going to be the one that's going to be rebounding the ball. which is why Josiah is such an important factor in this game.
Even though Creighton's guard oriented, I wouldn't honestly, it wouldn't bother me at all if we turned this into a track meet. If we decided
Yes,
to
absolutely.
press the entire game, never let them get into their offensive sets, make that 7-2 kid run up and down the floor about 150 times. Again, there's no bench. Like, if you can get into their bench, you've got them.
Absolutely.
So if this turned into a 90-88 game, I'm on board. Let's turn it into the highest scoring track meet humanly possible.
Absolutely. Absolutely.